Okay, this video we're going to be looking at the idea of refinancing, and this is something that when you have a mortgage, companies will throw at you all the time. Do you want to refinance? And we'll look at a little bit of the math here. So suppose that you take out a 30-year, $200,000 mortgage with an APR of 6%. So there's 30 years, $200,000. You make payments for 5 years, so 60 months of payments, and then consider refinancing the original loan. The new loan will have a term of 20 years at an APR of 5.5, so you're basically cut off 5 years of paying, and being the amount of the unpaid balance of the original loan. So your original loan will be down to some number at that point, and then you'll get the new loan starting at that. So there is also an administrative cost of taking out the second loan of $2,000. So again, those are almost like closing costs, but not quite. But in order to refinance, you have to pay $2,000 for the paperwork and all the other fun stuff that gets to go on in there. So what we want to do is we want to find out what are the monthly payments on the original loan. So this is part A. So your payment here is going to be, again, we have a $200,000 loan. And then we times that by, we started out at 6% APR, so 0.06. Sorry, it's terrible handwriting there. Over 12, divided by 1 minus 1 plus 0.06 over 12, raised to the negative 12 times 30 power. And this gives us a payment of $1,199.10. So that is going to be your payment on your 30-year mortgage at 6%. Now we're going to jump over to part B. It says, a short calculation shows that the unpaid balance on the original loan after 5 years is $186.46. That's going to be our principal that we still owe after we've paid on this thing for 5 years. So this will become the amount for the second loan when we take it out. What will be the monthly payments on the second loan? So we want our payment to be equal to, so again, $186.46 is how much we have to take out. We drop down 0.055, it's 5.5% APR, over 1 minus 1 plus 0.055 over 12, raised to the negative 12 for 12 months, but now over 20 years. And if we multiply all of this out here, we're going to get $1,279.79. So you are going to have to, in the end, pay a little bit more money on that 20-year loan. More money per month, I should say, not over the course of the loan. That's what we got to figure out. So what would be the total amount you'd pay if you continued with the original 30-year loan? So if we didn't refinance, how much would we pay? Well, that can be calculated by the monthly payment times how many payments we make. So we make it 12 times a year for 30 years. So that's going to be $431,670. No pennies on that. So that's how much you'd pay if you just stuck with the original loan itself. Now, part D wants to know what would be the total amount you would pay with the refinancing plan. Okay, this one's going to be a little bit more tricky to find out because first, I'm going to do it below here. First, we made the payments on the 30-year loan, and we made 60 of those payments, so 12 times a year for 5 years. So we made those payments. Plus, then we refinanced here, so we had to pay a $2,000 fee to refinance, and then we had to pay the new loan amount, which was $1,279.79, and we had to pay that 12 times per year for 20 years. So that all of that is our total cost when we pay our first 5 years on the 30-year loan. Then we have the $2,000 fee to refinance, and then we pay the refinancing cost. It looks like that's going to be more, but it actually turns out to be $381,095.60. So if you compare the two, you actually have a decent savings of about $50,000. So when we look at those and we decide which ones would you choose, okay, now if you could afford the refinance at that time, if you had $2,000 and you could pay an extra $80 a month, there would be a huge advantage because, again, you're only paying $381,000 versus $431,000 over the duration of the loan. Secondly, your loan would be paid off 5 years earlier, so you wouldn't have to be paying on it for as long. Okay, so those would be some things to consider. Another thing to consider is, are you going to stay in the home for the whole entire time? Because if not, refinancing, paying $2,000 and then only staying in the home for a couple more years, you're not going to see all those savings. So how long you're going to stay in the home is another thing to look at. And that's actually a big factor of refinancing is, do you plan on staying for a long time or not? Unless you're dropping an APR from 6% to like 3%, then that will change that response as well. So that's a look at refinancing. A lot to go into it, but if you have any questions, don't hesitate to let me know. And then we have one more video after this where we're going to be looking at using Excel to find payments.